This thing that I have found is what I would call my gracious space. Hi folks, Jack Carlisle here with Gracious Spaces, and we have a very special edition of Gracious Spaces to offer you today. And I cannot be any more excited to introduce Dan Parks. He has been here before in the hot seat, but welcome back, Dan. How you doing?
I'm doing good, Jack. Thanks for having us. Really excited to be here and see you again, be on the podcast again.
Absolutely. So, curator and founder of Old Towne Film Festival, which we're very excited. It's coming up, and he is so kindly and brought these two gentlemen with him. We have Griffin and Logan here to talk about their experience with the film festival and all the things. They have submissions this year and you last year as well, correct?
Yeah.
And both of you, submissions, yeah. So Dan, start us out though, telling us a little bit about the film festival, and you have an amazing slogan, "Different Done Right." A little bit about that and where you see what you've done to make it different done right. Give us your take on that.
That's a good question. Thanks. The Old Towne Film Festival, we started it to just give a better home for filmmakers, and what better place to do that in the community of Old Town Orange. So we've been so surprised as we started. We weren't really surprised, but as we started it here, just the reception we got in Old Town was awesome. Jax and the Potting Shed has been one of our first supporters and supported us all the way through. So we started in 2023, became a nonprofit in 2024. We've been in 2 different cities. So we were in Old Town the first year, over at the American Legion, at a full 3-day festival over there. Learned a lot of things, learned what we should do, learned what we shouldn't do, and then had a great time. And then that emphasis on the tagline that Jack brought up, our tagline is "Different Done Right." So what that tagline means to us is do the right things in our own unique way. You know what I mean? Because I think sometimes people might be worried about copying or worried about doing something that's been done before, at least creatives like ourselves, and yourself. But if you're unique, you're going to make something new. You know what I mean? Or some people might think doing something that's already been done before is a waste of time. But if you do it in your own voice, and that's an independent filmmaker's voice, if you do it in your own voice, you can tell the same story in a million different ways. Yeah. And I know these 2 young gentlemen will agree with me, because a good story is and told the right way is in a unique and in the same format, basically. But you can dance around that structure. So, and we'll get into story structure in this podcast, but one filmmaker told me once upon a time that filmmaking is a balance between science and magic, right? If you got too much magic and not enough structure or science, then it's not going to work. But if you got too much structure and not enough magic, nobody's going to care. Right. So we hope we do that with the film festival too. Yeah.
Well, I love everything you said just there, but something that really I appreciate you saying was you've given a home to filmmakers, and that right there alone it speaks volumes. A home for filmmakers. Do you feel like that some of these other festivals are lacking a little bit of home in them? That's personal touch.
That's been my experience, and so I hope people see that, because we want it to keep going, and then even with the nonprofit umbrella, right? It's no longer my business; it's a business that's over here. So I might not be around forever, So you build a foundation and a home that you hope that other people can carry on in the future, right? They say wise men plant trees whose shade they'll never sit under. I might have goofed that up a little bit, but we plant a tree and then let other people enjoy it, and then really enjoy the labor, because if it's a labor of love, you're going to enjoy that sweat equity that you put into it as well.
Yeah. What about you guys? Do you feel that? Do you feel like you have a home with Dan's Film Festival? Place you can enhance relationships, grow, feedback, bounce ideas off of people, and that's what he's created?
Yeah, definitely. I think for filmmakers, it's important not only to screen your film, but to have that film championed. And I think something great that Dan has done with the Old Towne Festival is to really promote the community of the film, right? I mean, it's one thing for your film to screen and it's forgotten, but to have conversations in the lobby. I remember last year when I had submitted a film, I remember I was talking with all these filmmakers that I never would have been able to have met unless I'd gone to that festival. So I do think that is also the Old Town Festival is an infant, right, compared to other festivals. So as it continues to grow, I think the community is also going to grow as well. So that's partially why I submitted last year and why I submitted a film again this year as well. So I think it's pretty rare to find that, and I think that makes me excited about returning to the Old Town Festival.
Yeah. Well, and Dan, you've went from one community, Old Town Orange, and expanded over to another community, Santa Ana. And now this year you've brought those two communities together. And so tell me a little bit about how you've brought us two cities together with the uniqueness of this film festival that's coming up.
Yeah, I think that's cool to see too, that we can work as a group of our filmmakers and also our small group of the film festival in a different place, right? So we had to bring it to Santa Ana last year at the Frida Cinema because we didn't have a place to screen in Orange. We had to do our own independent homemade theater over at the Legion, and then so the Frida worked out well for us. We had two different runs over there, the Summer Fest and the Fall Fest. And so this year we're like, well, we still love the Frida. We want to go back home to Old Town Orange, our namesake, and then so we made it happen. And I think you can see that on our artwork. Jack and I are wearing some shirts here.
Hot off the press there. I love it.
Yeah, but you have to check out our poster we put up too. That'll be our poster for the festival, but showing that vibe between two cities, and it's really cool to be able to come back to Orange, and we're doing that really special this year by self-producing our own documentary film about Old Town Orange. So it's called the Old Town Orange Movie.
Yeah, love that. And in that movie, you've dug deep. You've got historians, you've got current people, you've got law enforcement, public service figures. You really did not leave a stone unturned in that film. And that's going to premiere, correct, on the 7th?
Yeah, November 7th. So
November 7th.
We're in two different spots this year. So November 7th, we'll be over at the Orange Grove Lodge. So that's at the Masonic Temple right here on the Circle.
Yeah.
We'll have a cool red carpet opening up starting at 5 p.m. on that November 7th. There'll be live music inside. Come inside, enjoy some drinks and a popcorn. Meet and greet people that you may have never seen for a long time. So people you know and love. There might be somebody across the room that's in this movie. So we've interviewed some cool business owners like Jack himself too. Business owners, politicians, local people that you know, and also people on the street. We had some cool street fair footage in there too. So really this project's about what makes the Circle, what makes Old Town Orange great, and why it is. And we're starting the project with a narrative, a poem. And the title of the poem is Because People Showed Up. And we're going to end the film with that narrative poem too, to close it out, to bookend it. So Orange is the way it is, and it can continue being the way it is because people showed up. So we're sharing the stories of everybody along the way that made it is the way it is today. And that's because of people. So to keep it the same way, guess what?
Yeah.
People got to keep showing up.
Yeah. I love that you have created that. That's going to be a very special thing. So Griffin, tell me a little bit about last year's film.
Yeah.
Briefly, and then this year's. And did you learn anything along the way between the years?
Yeah.
And chat about that a little bit.
Yeah, of course. So last year I submitted my college senior thesis called Under Refurbishment to the Old Town Film Festival. I'll give you a quick pitch of what it is.
Yeah.
You ever been to a Chuck E. Cheese before?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, easy. We're on the same page. So the film is about an animatronic cowboy performer that is performing at this Chuck E. Cheese type restaurant. It's Western themed, looks like Frontierland, and he's programmed to do the same show over and over and over again. And one day he breaks off the script, and the film is about him maintaining his creative freedom. It's kind of like a de facto Pixar movie. It's very colorful, but also has a lot of heart to it. So that was last year.
Yeah.
And that was really fun to be able to show it. And this year.
Where did you draw from that? What made you create this character?
Oh my gosh.
What's behind that?
Well, I mean, I'm always been super close to Disneyland. So I've always loved animatronics, and they've always kind of fascinated me. Yeah. And I always thought it would make such a great protagonist for a film. So, and then in addition to that, creative freedom is also, especially as creative people, that's really important to be able to have something that you want to express and to actually go and express that, which I feel like ties in perfectly to Dan's vision for the festival. So it was a mixture of those two interests of mine, and also my love of Pixar movies. So I got to send it to you.
Yeah, I really like that.
It's a fun one, but
sort of finds himself.
Exactly.
He's like, I got to do this.
I know. Yeah. And that was a thrill to have last year. And this year is something completely different. The film that I submitted this year is called Dobby. If you're familiar with the Harry Potter book series and film series, Dobby is a character in the Harry Potter series. Yeah. It's not a Harry Potter movie though. Essentially the movie is about a seasonal scare actor that is dressed as Dobby that works at like a Harry Potter haunted house walkthrough, and she has to call out of work. So it's like 3 minutes long. It's a comedy of errors, and we see this poor young woman who's just trying to get to work. All the while she's having these serious conversations dressed like a really silly character from Harry Potter. So it's a comedy of errors, and I
feel like I've had a few dreams like this.
You think so?
You
right?
just can't get out of that costume, but yet you've got this place you got to be.
Exactly. So I am really interested to see how it plays. Again, it's a comedy. It's really specific and very weird, and it was shot in Old Town Orange as well, the train station. Or I guess the bus station. But that's my film. Totally different, way shorter. It's a comedy. I'm excited to premiere it though at the festival. Yeah.
And so, Dan, how many categories do you have? So this is clearly under comedy this year.
I hope so.
How many categories?
This year we went with the standard categories: comedy, drama, documentary, horror. And I think we've got an other in there. Selecting and screening them in local blocks. So both these young gentlemen are going to be screening the first night in Old Town.
Nice.
And so after the Old Town Orange movie, they're going to be screening. And you're going to love Under Refurbishment, that film he had last year. Production quality was amazing. Yeah, it's a really, really, really good movie. That's my talk about the idea of balancing science versus magic, right? When that stuff is in harmony, that's what you remember. And that's what's cool to see. I'm excited to see this next film too.
Yeah, thanks so much.
So when these films are submitted to you, you go way deep. You dig deep into the quality of the film, the making, the lesson, the learning behind it. So you dissect it pretty detailed.
Both before and during. So the one thing we really value is the Q&A during the festival, because I learned so much. This is really a master school for me. Because at the end of the day, I hope I'm still these young guys, right? I still want to make movies as I get older, and then so I learn every time from them. And I wonder if they see that when I'm asking questions, because in the Q&As, I'm diving deep. I got index cards for every film during the festival, and I don't want to be interrupted when the films are on. I want to watch and make my notes so I can go up and do the Q&A and really learn from them. Yeah. And then, so what do you guys feel like with your experience with the Q&As at the festival? Were you able to express yourself? So you talked about, maybe we'll go with Griffin, and you talked about self-expression. Were you able to express yourself? And because sometimes I think as creatives, it's hard to explain what you're doing at first, right? You're trying to figuring out something, whether it's something you're going through, but you talked about creative freedom. Yeah. Talk about expressing yourself in a Q&A or explaining your project. You did a wonderful job pitching there to Jack, but
Q&As can be really good or really bad. And I loved our conversation last year. And Logan, maybe you can also talk if you guys had a Q&A session the first year. But I saw your index cards and I was like, this guy took a lot of copious notes, right? So I thought that it felt really easy. And it's also, I think, when a Q&A is done right, it's really great, because we get to be put in a space where we're able just to articulate a little bit further what we were thinking. So is that the same for you, Logan?
Yeah, no, I'd definitely say so. I think, especially being in the different festivals around the country, they're definitely very different in how they approach the Q&A. Most times they have the like a line of filmmakers, and then you pass the mic down the line, and it's not really this cozy communal feeling that you get one-on-one, or 2-on-2 or 3-on-3 with your group of filmmakers talking about your specific project. I think that's really beneficial and really helpful to not only the audience, but to you as the filmmaker, because then you can, maybe I didn't realize why I did that or why I shot it like this. But now talking through with somebody who's genuinely interested and curious can really, unlock those amazing moments that you can share with other people. I think that's really, magical, especially with this festival.
Yeah, that's such a good point. I agree, because there have been Q&As prior in film festivals where it is, you're going down
Yeah,
the line.
no,
And it's like,
literally.
what was the hardest part?
the
What
mic
was
is
the
all
favorite part?
harsh.
But I appreciated what you did, because depending on the category that we were in, you were really, really specific in your questions, which we're like, oh, thank you. Like, we're typically asked like, oh, like what's the budget and how
The worst one's like, yeah, I know, just fake stuff.
It's
Yeah.
like you can look at it on IMDb. Like, I don't need to tell you this, but and I think that is really unique to be able to sit down just with the filmmaker and the host of the film festival and just have a conversation like this, because it makes it all the more special. And again, some film festivals might have it just in a row, and I appreciated the Q&A session. That was definitely one of my favorite aspects from last year.
It's probably my favorite thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then so like I talked about growing, and then if I'm not around forever, like that'd be hard for me to give up too. Because that's where I learn the most, you know what I mean? And then I'm just interested in what you guys are doing, because I want to get better at what I do too. And I've made documentaries before, but I haven't worked on a lot of sets with narrative-driven films. And then so I know with that, it's more of a teamwork and a collaboration thing. And I know, Logan, you've done that a lot, but like you're directing, but your cinematographer wants to see something different, and it's how you guys join. You know? And then so that's where my mind's always going, like, who made this decision and how did you guys work together to make that even better, right? Because you're only as strong as the whole body. Yeah. Right?
Allows you. Is there any feedback you guys could give, Dan, that would elevate this, or perhaps take in a different direction you'd like to see done? Feedback is powerful.
Yeah,
you love feedback.
I mean, still talking about the Q&A, I think sometimes an issue could be that these festivals are big, and it turns into a mechanical sort of factory that's like, okay, we have to get this block out with this Q&A, and we have to have this time, and it's more, there's less soul to it. I think that what makes this festival so special is that there's soul to it, and there's people who, you know, are behind it, who actually care. Not saying that the other festivals don't care, but it just seems like a bigger step back when it's this big production. And I really like how it's still this amazing, you know, magical, like communal, just cozy environment that we have. Yeah. So I would say, like, do not lose that, please, because it is really unique, and it is different. It's really cool.
Well, that's different done right? That's your whole mantra, I think. Dan, from these guys, is there anything you would look for differently from submissions, or something you would care to see that's...
I'm always curious what filmmakers need and want, because one of our tenets is education. I think that just comes from me. I want to learn more about filmmaking. We've been honored over the last 2 years. We've had my buddy Chris Schuler. He's from New Mexico. He's a documentarian that's worked for PBS, and professional filmmaker. That's his job. You know what I mean? That's been my dream. I'm not there yet. But that's his job. And he came to our first film festival just on a whim. I called him, did a Zoom conversation, and he showed up, flew out of his own dime. Last year, we were honored to be able to fly him out and give him a hotel, which is pretty cool. It was pretty cool for us to be able to do that.
Very cool.
And anyways, both times he did documentary masterclasses. So he brought that education. I know documentary is not everybody's genre, so he's not teaching this year. But last year we gave him an award, and we're going to give that award out annually. It's called the Chris Schuler Education Award, which is really cool. So we're going to respect somebody this year in the community of Old Town Orange at our opening night with that award. But my point of bringing that up is, what do you guys want out of panels or want out of workshops? What are you guys looking to dive in? Because I always want to grow the festival in that aspect. We've got 2 panels, and hopefully people will like them this year. But what are you guys looking for out of panels?
Yeah, I think as we both came from the same film school, something that could potentially be lacking in those classes are the more practical ways to create and get your feet off the ground in an actual career. Yes, there's great, documentary and directing and cinematography panels, but those dark corners in which, how do I get distribution? How do I raise funds for this, project? How do I, get legal advice for this kind of thing? Because you need to cover your butt when you're making a film. And so I think those panels specifically are what could draw people in, because they're really different from what's usually out there on Instagram or YouTube, film school. that you just don't see, and you're like, where do I learn this information? You know,
the nuts and bolts of how to succeed, really.
Right.
And the gentleman who, even though he's a documentarian, he can offer that, right? Yeah. So that's kind of a cool angle, not necessarily having a class based on his genre or what he does, but based on the success of growing as a filmmaker.
Yeah, general. He did give those tips. And it's cool. That was it. He titled it documentary masterclass, but he never took grants. So a lot of people take grants on the documentaries. He's like, don't do that, because then they have creative control. He's like, he'd piggyback on somebody else's grant, and then he got the money out of it to make his project, but they couldn't tell him what to do, which is amazing. Yeah, amazing.
Because you are giving up a certain amount of rights then, or someone else can go in and twist your vision.
Or they have Final Cut, which I know these two guys don't want to give out to somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here you work so hard. It's your ideas, your thoughts.
Yeah.
You know, of course you wouldn't. Logan, tell us a little bit about your films then, last year's and this year's then.
Yeah. So the first year I submitted a short film that was done in 48 hours. We did one of those competitions in Los Angeles, and so we were super proud of it. So we started submitting it to others, one of which was the Old Town Orange Film Festival, the Old Town Film Festival. And that one was we did the 48-hour horror competition. So we had to write, film, edit, and submit the entire project. It came out to about 10 minutes in 48 hours. So that was a huge feat for us. We came out of that very proud. And other people who are local here, Austin and JMO, the earlies, they worked on this and they were super proud of it. And so we moved on into more taking our time with films, from there on out. And so this one that we have in this year is called Sleep, and it is a 8-minute short horror drama about this father who's trying to comfort his daughter, who believes that her deceased mother is tapping on the bedroom window. And it is a story about grief and trying to comfort your child in the face of uncertainty, and just trying to get over that. Together as a family, how can we hold on to that?
Yeah. So that tap. Just a little unnerving.
Yes. Yes.
Where did you pull that from?
I've always had trouble falling asleep as a kid, and so that may have had sort of an aspect into it.
Yeah.
But also, I'm just so fascinated with parenting and comforting your child, coming up with stories to comfort your kid who's trying to sleep. And also the adults might not know always what's going on, and the children do. So there's always that perspective you can take on it as well.
And so, Dan, will their films be in the same evening then, the first night you were saying, I think, of the film festival?
Yeah. So after screening the Old Town Orange movie, we'll have a short intermission so all the local people can say hi and goodbye and have a grand old time. And then we really want to invite you guys to stick around, because we're showing, I've got in front of me 8 short films. And if you guys don't know what short films are exciting. The definition of a short film is below 40 minutes.
Yeah.
But all these films, the longest one is 9 minutes and 42 seconds.
Yeah.
So there'll be 8 of them. And all these people are local. Some from Orange, some from Orange County, some from the LA area. But they're all local, and they'll be there. And it's cool to, if you're interested in creativity, be inspired by them, because if they're doing it, you can do it too. So that'll play at 8:30 on that opening night.
Yeah.
And stick around for the Q&A so you can ask your questions.
That's a lot of your vision to get in. 8 minutes, you were saying? Yeah. Do you find that challenging? And
yeah, I mean, I think there's something special about the short film medium, in that it really forces you to express yourself creatively in the best way possible. I think sometimes if you give yourself too much time, you could end up drawing it out, or it just doesn't come out the way that you envisioned it. From what I found is you can cut down a lot and still make the point like even better if you know the shorter it is.
I like that
Yeah.
that look on that take on that. That's very cool. So, are you guys excited about this? Is sort of like you call your hometown, right?
Yeah.
You're very connected to this area.
Yeah.
Must be very exciting. Your friends, family to be here in Old Town Orange and the neighboring city.
Yeah.
To have this happen. So, are y'all going to stick around for the whole balance of the weekend around that film festival weekend? Enjoy it all.
I'll be there
Yeah.
on Sunday, hoping there's an award with my name on it.
That's right. There is the award show, right?
No, I'm joking. But yeah, I mean, that whole weekend is going to have, panels and screenings, and it's all going to be in the Orange area. So yeah, I'll stick around. I'm excited to see, just the filmmakers that have returned and the new filmmakers as well. I think that should be really exciting.
So like a class reunion type thing too, right?
Yeah,
Kind of,
yeah. It is, yeah.
Yeah. And you guys, you mentioned you went to the same film school?
Yeah, we did.
And where was that?
Biola University,
Okay.
the Snyder School of Cinema and Media Arts.
Very good.
Yeah.
And did you know each other there?
Not really.
Maybe
no,
like
yeah.
through friends, but yeah, I think I met him for the first time today, but
Still have that connection,
yeah.
which is what I love that you're doing, Dan. Where's the furthest film that's coming to the film festival from?
Oh, so we have an international block on Sunday. Yeah, it's on Sunday. So 2 films. One film from Morocco. It's a documentary. And then a drama from Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Yeah, so putting them together.
Well, I hope if anyone's local, you can get down to the film festival. It's going to be an amazing experience. And Griffin, I know you got to get out of here and head out. So I appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Logan, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome back on. Maybe we'll have some awards to be handing out on the next series. And Dan, all I can do is say, you from the day you came in through my door, 3 years ago, I'm so impressed with what you have accomplished and continue to accomplish. So thank you for being a part of my community as well.
Thanks for having us, Jack. Yeah, please come out to the festival. We need you guys. So we really love Orange. We appreciate Orange, and we appreciate you, Jack. So thanks for having us on. And I've always said that Jack's store here is the center of creativity in Old Town. So he's allowed so many cool things. If you guys check out more episodes of this podcast, you've had some musicians on lately, which is nuts.
Yeah, it's a cool little new series we put a twist to. Yeah, so thank you for mentioning that.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thank you for your time.
yeah, thanks, Jack.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dan, and we'll see you on the other end.
Cool.